Today marks 100 days since Malaysia's new Pakatan Harapan government has been in office. It pulled off a stunning defeat of Barisan Nasional Coalition at the May 9th election, propelling former Premier Dr. Mahathir Mohamad back into the top job to lead the PH coalition. The four-party alliance had a bold pledge, 10 promises to be fulfilled in the first 100 days. But on the eve of that 100-day mark, the government acknowledged it needs more time.
So while we made a promise that we should do things in 100 days, the most we could do was to start this thing. But it will take a little more time for us to complete so as to fulfill our promises.
Channel News Asia's Melissa Go looks at those promises made and takes stock of the progress that's been made.
The new government made its presence felt very quickly. Soon after he was sworn in, Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad announced the formation of a council of eminent persons to advise the new government on economic and financial matters. The new leader also scrapped the hugely unpopular Goods and Services Tax, or GST, one of 10 things that he promised voters that he would do in his first 100 days in office. This list of 10 also included a pledge to review major infrastructure projects awarded to foreign contractors. Dr. Mahathir is now seeking to scrap the East Coast Rail Link and 2 pipeline projects worth some $22 billion with Chinese state-owned companies. He also announced in May that he would scrap the Singapore-Kuala Lumpur high-speed rail link. More recently, Kuala Lumpur has said that it would seek to postpone the project pending a review. Soon after the new government took power, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng announced that the country was saddled with a national debt of 1.08 trillion ringgit, equivalent to $250 billion.
If you look at it half empty, of course, then you feel helpless. But if you look at it half full, it is fortunate that we are still at the right moment to fix it up. If they were given another term, one more term, I think the 1 trillion debt would easily become 3 trillion. By that time, it will be too late to do anything.
The finance minister has announced several belt-tightening measures to pare down the debt, but analysts continue to raise concerns over the lack of clarity in government's finances.
The only missing piece of information is how the government going to generate revenue to cover the shortfall as a result of the abolishing of GST. So that is still not clear beyond 2019. What is the government going to do? What is Malaysia's new source of revenue to cover the shortfall from abolishing GST? There's a lack of clarity on the major infrastructure projects, whether they are reviewing it or they're suspending it or whether they're going to proceed with it.
Although many missing pieces remain and not every promise has been fulfilled, analysts say the public is willing to cut the new government some slack.
Yes, I think the government is lucky in a way that the people are euphoric, and I think beyond 100 days or closer to 100 days, people are still euphoric about the change of government, and they have massive amount of political capital to spend.
But political capital can only go so far. Now, how soon will the honeymoon end for the new government? Now, with the Goods and Services Tax abolished and former Prime Minister Najib Razak called to account for the alleged wrongdoings, are voters prepared to hold off the judgment, at least for now? Well, what's clear, as analysts say, is that with a national debt of more than $250 billion, the government has to come up with more measures to fix its finances. Melissa Go, Channel News Asia, Kuala Lumpur.